Yep.
30's the shelf life.
Did you just say shelf life?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Athletes have a shelf life.
That's so disrespectful.
Oh no, he's
No.
gonna call me
Put
out.
him words
I'm in
like put him
trouble.
out to pasture. I mean, what is that?
That's the nature of the beast, man.
That's wrong.
That's raw.
Why? No, it's wrong.
That's the cutthroat business of professional sports.
These are human
They
beings.
don't care. Come on.
These are human beings, Michael Deering.
Yes, they are human
And
beings.
they've worked hard and sacrificed stuff their entire lives. And you
put
guys
'em out
sit
to
here and say,
pasture.
put them out to pasture like they're a couple of old cows?
We're repeating other people's phrases. We're not creating these, JD. Come on.
Oh, good.
that's
So I can
horrible.
say them, and you can dissect them
Oh,
for us,
yeah.
because I'm like, well,
Jeez.
We're not creating these terms. These are
God, you
things that
brought Deering on. Phew. Feel better now.
I don't mind taking the heat.
Did you, Lori, did you have any idea that Deering was going to be in here this
I
morning?
had no idea. I feel good though about having this guy to my left.
But here's the thing. Michael Deering introduced me to you.
Yep.
And without our blessed Deering,
I'm not sitting here.
True, A, and B, I would sit here and make a complete ass out of myself trying to recap the wild card weekend. So I'm going to let you two hooligans do it.
A wild card weekend.
I got notes.
Oh,
You got
good.
All you gotta do is bring it up on your
he's got the-
laptop.
I could.
He's got the fancy pantsy laptop.
Wait, let me
going.
go through my notes here. I'm gonna say that a lot.
First off, I want to not only welcome you guys here, but say happy Monday and happy Martin Luther King Day today. I don't want to
Amen.
forget that. I want to come out of the
Exactly.
come out of the gate with that this morning. That's there's a lot of things that we celebrate holidays for and with, and this is probably in my opinion anyway one of the most important ones. So.
Absolutely.
Martin Luther King Day today, and you will be, I'm sure, seeing and hearing a lot of tributes on the air, on your cell phone, and the speeches being replayed. And I say speeches because there was more than one. There was more than I Have a Dream. There were several that were really damn good. So, anyway, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Wild Card Weekend. You guys know that both of you, I think Lori may not know as much as you do, Michael, that when it comes to sports, my head's in my ass. I mean, it's just plain and simple. And it always has been. I mean, that's just the fact.
I think you're underestimating yourself a little
No,
bit.
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
See, this is a newbie saying, I think you're underestimating yourself. You have no idea.
Come on, we all underestimate ourselves.
I mean,
Have some power for yourself, JD. Come on, the power of empowerment.
listen, Sherilyn says this isn't even football.
Dude,
this is something
yeah.
else. Football is you kick the ball around on the ground with your foot. That's
Oh,
football.
We can't go there.
Yeah.
Can't go there, can we?
Instead of all these mamsy-pamsies running around with helmets and pads on.
No, I wouldn't say mamsy pamsies. Come out to one of my BYSA practices, or even one of my Spalding High School practices. Trust me, there's no mamsy pamsies about playing football.
What a weekend it was. I mean, I have to admit that when we come down to the wire here, even asshats like me with sports get interested.
Oh, absolutely.
We
You
get
have
it.
to.
It's not just like an American thing. I mean, you just unless there's something maybe seriously wrong with you, how could you not be possibly interested, even a smidgen, of what's happening leading up to the Super Bowl?
Football is huge, and like Michael and I were saying, just having a Monday night game, they don't do that at playoff time.
Yeah, this
is a first.
Why?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, they like to prolong things.
It's
And,
money.
Yeah, it's money. There's a Thursday game throughout the season. There's a Thursday game.
Yeah.
There's Sunday and there's Monday. So they like to prolong it. If they could have football 7 days a week, They would have football 7 days a week, and America would love it. The world would love it.
Yeah.
The players do not love it.
Exactly.
But, the world loves it. It's entertainment. It's what you pay for. It's a product.
Yeah, right. I've been, before I forget, I've been teasing DJ Hardacre all weekend of who was going to be sitting here this morning on Monday. So obviously, you know this character.
I do know DJ. I have probably known him. Gosh, DJ, we're going to go back 30 plus years. Softball, women's softball. He coached one of the teams years ago when I was playing. He would be coaching third, and I would be playing third.
Yeah.
So that's how we got to know each other.
It's almost
just
impossible.
Chatting away.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to have a conversation that involves the S word, softball, without DJ Hardacre's name coming into it. Male, female, doesn't matter.
We talked one time, and he's not going to remember this, eons ago, about biking through Iowa. I wonder if he remembers. We were going to bike through Iowa. I don't know what it was, but you biked through the entire state, and, you camped out, and I'm like, I am not getting back on a bike. I'll get on it one day, but don't put me back on that bike the next day. For various reasons, but come on. But DJ would have. He would have biked through. He would have biked to California.
But what was so special about just Iowa, though?
I don't know. It was an event he must have found.
Okay.
Leave it to him. He could find anything.
Tell me about you, Lori. Athletic director, born and raised right here locally in
Montpelier girl.
Montpelier. Yeah.
Montpelier girl through and through. Go MHS. Go Solons. Coached at Northfield for 15 years. That's where I really cut my teeth. Worked for the greatest, not to disrespect anybody, athletic directors. They do such an amazing job. But I worked for Frank Pecora over at Northfield High School. He is the baseball coach at Norwich right now. 38 years at the helm, Frank Pecora. 15 baseball state championships for Frank Pecora, over 600 wins. That man is a legend.
Wow.
And I got to work for him for 15 years. The first time I rode on a bus with him, scared to death of the man due to my respect for him. I'm on a bus with him. We're traveling to who knows where. And I'm like, oh, my God. Because he was actually my JV coach for one season, which put that in perspective. Scared to death to sit on a bus with him for 2 hours. By the end of that trip, I felt like I had known him all my life.
Really?
Life lessons I learned through that man. Amazing.
That you'll carry forever.
Forever. He molded me. He mentored me. And I'm still coaching today.
How many gaskets did he blow?
Quite a few.
Really? Is there one that sticks out more than others in your memory?
Well, when I started there, and I knew about Frank Pecora, and I knew the baseball legend he was, but basketball season had ended, and I was putting all the uniforms upstairs. So there was a baseball game. I'm like, I'll get to catch up with Frank after the game. So I'm bringing stuff, totes up and down the stairs, doing whatever, and here come the boys' baseball team, and I asked one of the guys, how'd the game go? Oh, we lost. And I'm like, oh. Still, I'm thinking in my head, well, they don't lose very often, but it is what it is. I come down the stairs. I go into the weight room where the totes were, and Frank's in there. And he's by himself. And the door's open like a crack, smidgen. And he's pacing back and forth.
Oh, God.
Back and forth. And I'm like, is he breathing? Oh, he's breathing. Face beat red. And I'm like, this man is intense in a phenomenal way. It was so hard for him to let go of a loss, though. Mm-hmm. He didn't lose very often. So that season, he helped me. He was my JV coach. I was a varsity coach. My first year as a varsity coach there.
Wow.
Let's say 2 minutes into the game, the man always dressed to the nines, had a suit on. That sports coat went flying 2 minutes into the JV game. Intense, but he did everything the right way. But what a coach, what a legend, and I am beyond blessed to say I worked for him for 15 years.
My God.
He just absolutely amazing. Retires, he's in his 70s, retires, and now is the head coach at Norwich Baseball, for Norwich Baseball.
Do you know this cat, Michael?
I don't.
Google him after.
No, I will. I'll check him out. But To me, anybody that is able to teach us life lessons,
through
Amazing.
sports,
through sports,
Of course.
indefinitely, it is so important.
Absolutely.
Being a sports coach in a couple of different areas, and even having so many coaches growing up for me that changed my life.
Yeah.
That they were coaches, football, baseball, different coaches in the community. That without those individuals, I would not be who I am.
100%.
And I even got to experience some of that with some of my younger BYSA flag players, because these last 4 seasons, I've been able to coach the kindergarten through 4th grade flag football here in Barrie.
Isn't that the best level?
I think so. I mean, literally, we had one child come up to me, and we hadn't seen each other for a couple of weeks because we were in between events. He goes, "Coach, I've just missed you so much." And those things they break your heart in such a great way.
Means the world to you, though.
Yeah.
What this is when you're molding children when they're so young and they just want to win, but but learning how to not win, dare I say lose, which I can't stand that word, but learning to get through that, work through the emotions, and be okay. Try harder. Maybe it was luck that was against you, but teaching them resolve and to get back on the horse.
So what I like about the BYSA football program in particular is that we have the different levels of competition, that from the flag football level, we don't even keep score. So we celebrate the goods.
Yes,
we
right.
talk about
That's
the bads.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you
right.
progress. You go to the 5th and 6th grade tackle level, the 7th and 8th grade tackle level. And each year things get more serious.
Right.
And winning and losing becomes more important as you get older.
Sure.
But to build on those fundamentals like you're talking about,
Right.
good sportsmanship,
Yes.
being able to be critiqued by your coach in a good way and say, all right, this person has my best interest at heart. They're just not reaming on me because they feel like it, because they're just some bad person.
Right.
Sure. Lori, the last couple of years you've been with Spalding. Tell me about that.
When I retired at Northfield, I thought my coaching days were behind me. Done 15 years. It was phenomenal, great journey. Parents and kids along the way, fabulous. Started working more with Carl Parton with CVT Sports.
Yeah.
That
And
was
you-
the area I really wanted to get into.
And you're calling games all the time now.
Yep. And it's Carl, talk about breaking my teeth. Carl was the one that
He's the guy.
he's the guy. And I would do color commentating, and I said to him, I'm not sure I can do this. This is years ago. And he said, "You're watching a basketball game. Just talk to me about what you're seeing out there. You're
Yeah.
coaching, kind of." I'm like, well, that's easy enough. And then he's like, now you need to take that next step to play-by-play. And I go, I can't do that. Because that's a different animal.
It's a different animal than color.
Completely
Absolutely.
different animal.
Sure it is.
Again, just little push by Carl. I couldn't tell you 5 years ago I might have done my first play-by-play. And after you do one play-by-play, you don't want to give it up after that.
Yeah. Kind of like podcasting.
Kind of like podcasting.
You're hooked already.
Absolutely.
And she's a natural. I do some camera work for Carl and even get to produce a little bit of some stuff. And listening to you and Carl, you guys just are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Working a lot of years together, but we do work well together. And he's always let me do my thing. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was actually last winter, halftime, we go off the air, and I'm like, we're just going to put kids on the air. So you put some of the teenage players on there, and they love it. They eat that up. They're like,
Yes.
this is amazing. So, yeah, it's been great. But Tanya McCauley took over at Spalding. This is
Okay.
her 4th year. And as she was interviewing, she said, I'm going to interview for the Spalding job. Are you? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I've had my head coaching days. I'm good. And she said, well, would you ever be an assistant? And I'm like, oh, sure. A little more leeway, come and go as you want.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm not going to ride the bus anymore. I did my years of that.
Yes.
Riding the bus, come on now.
Well, just the
So-
smell alone is just riding of it.
Fast
any
forward,
kind of bus.
she gets the job. In our first year, we won 9 games. Second year, we won 13 and went to the semis. But during the pandemic, it wasn't at the odd this particular year, so we traveled to Fairhaven. Last year, we made it to the odd, and we made it to the state championship game. I mean, it was just an amazing feat. Hats off, kudos to all the kids along the way, because, there was some of those kids that had one win their freshman year.
Yeah.
And then they're playing in the state championship game.
Right.
And it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me about, coach of the year, how many wins, and it's not about the coaches, and you don't do it for the accolades. You do it for the kids.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
We just talked about.
You should.
We talked about life lessons. The weddings you go to after they graduate from college. You run into them. You sit down and you have some coffee with them. It's just life lessons, teaching them accountability. What you get back out of coaching is it's absolutely amazing.
And sometimes, as a coach, you're having a greater impact on a child,
absolutely,
or a young adult than, let's be honest here, their own parents, their own family members, even teachers. That whatever goodness they're carrying with them later in life, they got from you guys.
Well, we're kind of teaching them to push through what's going on. I mean, in sports, you have to kind of put things aside and to be able to focus on the court or on the field or whatever you're doing. And there are a lot of times in life that life's not perfect. And we have to put those things aside and be able to perform as a coach, as a player. And those are some of the things that we're teaching our players, or at least trying to have that mentality that you can beat this, you can go past this.
That's right.
But don't give up. Continue to work hard and give it your best.
Absolutely.
If you don't succeed, well, try again.
And they have bad days. We all have bad days.
Of course
and
we do.
you know it as soon as they walk into the gym.
Right.
You know what their day has been all about.
No doubt.
So I always tell them, hang it on the problem tree that's outside the gym doors. Leave it there.
That's right.
Come in, and let's salvage the rest of the day. And sports is a great outlet.
Lori, I have to be honest with you. You've never met Chris Autry before, which is a damn shame. But I'm disappointed that in you this morning.
I know you are.
You come in with the Crimson Tide sweatshirt, but no Steelers jersey. What the hell's going on here?
And let me tell you, I have 2 Steelers jerseys hanging in my closet. Yep. And my first thought this morning was put my Ben Roethlisberger jersey on. Never met Chris. He's going to love this.
Autry, you with us?
Lori, I wish I could give you a hug right now. Why didn't we meet after 7 years? Man, because there needs to be more of us in Barry, Vermont.
Exactly. And I will tell you this. I grew up a suffering Dolphin fan. My sister Gail, biggest Steeler fan on earth, next to you, I've learned.
Yes, please.
Next to you. And when Ben Roethlisberger got drafted by the Steelers, I threw a party instantly. One of the best picks in the draft. That was the same year as Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger sliding down, Steelers picking at 11th, I think. I'm like, he's going to slide to the Steelers. Outstanding.
He did. And I mean, Eli had 2 Super Bowls. Ben had 2 Super Bowls. But, I think Ben had a much better career than Eli Manning.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But here's the thing. Do you know how many Giant fans don't like Eli Manning? But he still won him 2 Super Bowls. I mean, I'd have taken that as a Dolphin fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got it. I
My
don't have a
best
whole
friend
lot.
growing up, he was a Dolphins fan. And I always just heckled him. I mean, I was a Patriots fan growing up, too. And they weren't very good. But the Dolphins were
You're right.
worse.
They were. Absolutely.
So why let me ask this. Why are there so many Giant and Dolphin fans in Vermont?
I can answer the Giants question.
I don't know about the Dolphins.
I mean, the
Why?
Giants.
I see there's a guy that walks by here every morning in front of the studio with a Dolphin.
With a Dolphin.
You've seen him?
Yeah. I don't know about the Dolphins. Maybe it's just because they want to think that Miami's warm and,
It's the dolphin itself.
Come on,
Yeah.
Autry. The dolphin is so cute.
Autry, you chewed on a few fingernails yesterday, buddy. You did. You were that was.
Hey.
Your prediction of the Bills spread over the Dolphins was nowhere near where it finished up.
I finished 2 for 3 yesterday. 2 for 3 yesterday.
That's not a winning record, sir.
It does it.
You
I got
finished
2 out
by
of
the
3, right?
you
That's
finished
pretty well.
you finished Autry by the skin of your chinny chin.
You picked
Well,
you picked
who would've-
47 to 17, and I picked 31 to 10. So we're in the same neighborhood, 100%. 100%. I didn't even think the Dolphins belonged in the playoffs. I thought the Steelers did. Per the last 4 weeks of the season,
Yeah.
Steelers.
I agree, but I'm also a realist. Our offense couldn't get anything started. Like we need to score more than 17 points a game, or
At least they could score 17 points a game. I mean, look at my Patriots. I don't really think they could barely score 10 this year.
Do you know how seriously? Lori, dead serious here. Do you know how I know that I'm dealing with a couple of sports junkies? When we start using words like "my," like Deering just said,
Right.
he said "my," and
It's
you
true.
You got Autry over here saying "we," as if Autry owns the damn Steelers.
We
Listen
do
to
act
this
like
guy.
we do. We act like
God.
we're owner majority in the team. We do.
Hey,
we are so
li- li-
vested.
Listen, I'll take credit, man. I got to stand on the sideline during training camp for twice. So to me, like I feel like my DNA is in the team. You know what I'm saying? Just from that experience. But listen, I just want to say too. Number one, I don't think Giants fans picked the Giants to win yesterday against Minnesota.
I picked them.
I would not have.
Yep, not an upset.
Yeah, I would not have. I wouldn't have picked them. And I think Buffalo's gonna win the whole thing. I think they've
so.
got every reason. If they don't, they need to pack the team up and move them to Montpelier because there is.
Ouch.
They've got every reason to win this Super Bowl now.
They do. You're right. They got past the you should blow this team off the field game, and it's sometimes that first round is hard. That's why I picked the Giants because that was a good matchup for them. They had already taken Minnesota right to the wire in the regular season, so that one didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
what about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
you know what? If there
were
was a
horrible.
team that I didn't sleep on Jacksonville because I felt like all season long San Diego kept having these moments where they choked.
100%.
And I love Herbert. I think he's a fantastic quarterback. But Doug Peterson is kind of the king of making something out of nothing.
Thank you, Chris, for saying that because the best pickup in the offseason was Doug Peterson coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars because all Trevor Lawrence needed was a real coach to coach him, not Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think you've got to watch out for Jacksonville next year.
Oh, absolutely. I'm surprised they won this weekend. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised they won. But yeah, watch out next year. Trevor Lawrence is just going to get better and better. And well, there's a whole bunch of young quarterbacks that are just flourishing this year. What about Kenny Pickett?
Well, I'm optimistic about Kenny Pickett. I think we need a better offensive line around us. I think Matt Canada's got to go. I think we need honestly, I think we need an offensive coordinator who is very aggressive offensively, like a run and gun kind of offense or an air raid kind of offense.
Yep.
But we've got to have an offensive line. I personally am not a fan of Deontay Johnson, and as much as I love George Pickens, the Pickens-Pickett, combination.
Love it.
Those guys have got to keep their head in the game.
Right. But not bad for a rookie year. I love the Pickett to Pickens. I love it.
Yeah.
And Najee Harris, if he can stay healthy, great defense. You just said it perfectly, though. You have to have an offensive line.
Yeah.
But nobody drafts better than the Steelers and the Patriots and the Packers.
Yeah.
Unless you're drafting wide receivers for the Patriots.
I know they haven't had a real one since Randy Moss. Are we going to go there?
I mean, and that's when they traded for him
Traded
or
for him.
signed. I mean, they've never drafted Deion Branch. Was
he
the
was
last
a great one.
and
Good
they've
one.
N'Keal Harry they drafted horrible. It's kind of fizzled out. They have had drafted so many wide receivers, and none of them are able to continue to play football.
Now is Mac
Hey.
Jones the answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Autry.
Hey, listen, you guys, I can tell on camera, JD's a little confused. Can y'all get a pen and a piece of paper and write the word wide receiver out? Maybe explain to him what that does. Like offensive line.
Should I give him
what
a
is
number
that?
position? Okay.
He's scratching his head a minute ago, and I'm like, oh, he's about to bang his head against the wall. He doesn't know what we're.
I'm gonna bring him to some Glacier clinics with me.
Listen, you don't want me to tell everybody, Autry, that you were going to bed while the Bengals were tied up with the Ravens last night, do you?
I was.
I'm old,
What?
man. I'm old.
Can you believe that? That he's
What?
going to bed. They were tied up. 17
all.
17. I'm like, Autry, are you watching this? He's like, I'm going to bed, man. I'm like, what
I
are you
did.
talking about? What? What kind of football guru is that going to bed with the score tied?
That was the one. I have not seen one play that could determine a game. All Huntley has to do is reach over the goal line. Baltimore wins.
Yeah.
And he starts getting pushed from behind, and the ball's going up in the air. It was like watching volleyball, batted away right into Hubbard's hand. And that defensive lineman having to go 98 yards down the field,
That's a big boy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll say this because I saw the highlight this morning, JD. I at least I woke up at 6 o'clock, right? I got up, but listen, man. I'll say this: the Bengals got away with a block in the back right before he went in the end zone.
They did.
I mean,
did you like the way he pulled his hands back, though?
He did.
He's like, whoop, didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I watched it 2 or 3 times. Like, I cannot believe they didn't call that on him. But
Bucks Cowboys tonight in Tampa, Mr. Autry. What say you?
all right, listen. I'll admit first, Brady's the GOAT. It pains me to admit it because I hate the Patriots.
Oh, I am so with this guy.
But he's
the GOAT.
But he's the GOAT. You can't take away from what he's done. He shouldn't have divorced Giselle. He should have chosen family over football. That's what he should have
True.
done. I'm so mad with him about it. You know what I mean? If he was in my office right now, I'd have to straighten him out. But that's what he did. He's the GOAT. Now, on the second hand, I hate the Cowboys. I hate them.
Oh.
I can't. Listen,
Uh-oh.
I love them like Jesus loves them, right? The sinners, right? They need redemption, but I can't stand the Cowboys. And so there's no. It's like pulling for Duke. There's no way.
Oh, my God, I love this man.
I can't.
Wow. I love it.
I'm a man of conviction and morals, and I just can't pull for Dallas. So I think the old geezer is gonna pull out a win tonight against Dallas. And tomorrow morning, we all need to make a promise that we're gonna find Dallas fans and give them all hugs tomorrow because they're gonna need it.
I got a couple here in downtown that keep heckling me about my Patriots. So I'm on with you. And if I see some of those Cowboys fans, I might not give them a hug. I might give them a hey, ha ha.
I would give DJ Hardacre a hug, though, if Dallas does
poor
lose.
DJ Hardacre.
will.
I mean, come on. And but you like the Cowboys? Come on, Shep. Admit it. It's all right.
Autry's so right, though. Brady is the GOAT as much as it's hard to admit it. I'll do it for you, Daring. He is the GOAT. He's 7-0 in his career against Dallas. But I just have that little teeny nugget of that Dallas defense. I really like that Dallas defense. But Micah Parsons, probably the best defensive player in the game. I think he has 13 and a half sacks on the season. 12 of those have come on artificial turf.
Yep.
This is on grass.
Ooh,
Yep.
a little different footing. And Brady's always been pretty good on Monday Night Football.
Absolutely.
It's the spotlight,
the
it's
lights
the
don't
shine.
shine
Right.
as
Really
brighter.
true. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Tom Brady.
As a Patriots fan, if they were playing on Sunday night or Monday night, I was staying up, making sure I caught every moment of that because they were really spectacular.
And I don't really care for his offense. I don't. His offensive line has got has been taped together. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But at 45, he still releases the ball in 2.5 seconds.
Right. And he's still standing.
And he's still standing because he knows he has to get rid of it. There's that Dallas defense that just keeps gnawing in the back of my head.
I can't even get off the toilet in 2.5 seconds.
He is just ruthless, man. He's just a ruthless competitor.
Yes.
He's not going to give up and quit. I just don't. And Dallas chokes. Let's just face it. They choke and play in the playoffs.
That's the thing. That's the thing. When I keep giving this little nugget of Dallas defense play, I'm like, is Dak going to take care of the ball? How many times are they going to turn the ball over? And if that happens, we all know Brady's going to capitalize. So if I was betting on the game, I'd take Tampa.
Yeah, Tom Brady loves pressure. I mean,
loves it.
And you and I was just chatting before our mics turned on that he tends to tease us sometimes.
Yeah.
He'll start out strong, and then he'll start getting his ass handed to him, and then he'll come back at the very end and just wash.
How many times, as a Patriot fan, did you think he was over all the years? He's just teasing with you in the first half. I was at a Patriot game where they were playing the Dolphins. I don't know how many years ago. It doesn't matter. Miami's winning at the half. Let's say they're up by 10. And they look great. Whole different second half. And I'm like, he teases with you. And then he's like, all right, now I'm done. I
think it has something to do with his intelligence, that he's just so smart that he has the
mental side of it.
Yeah. And the halftime is enough time for him to adjust and evaluate and say, all right, this isn't working, and I need to do this, and that. And just
instead of focusing on what went wrong.
Because we talk about, in this day and age, we talk about the running quarterbacks, the athletic quarterbacks. I will take a quarterback that has it above the shoulders over the athletic running quarterback any day. Yeah. And that's Tom Brady.
Well, look at how many games Brady has missed because he's a really stand in the pocket quarterback versus a Jalen Hurts or a Dak Prescott.
Justin Fields is getting beat up too.
Yeah, I mean, you're running the ball and you're taking hits every time. I mean, Josh Allen even missed some time because they key on him as a running quarterback.
And there goes your shelf life that we talked about.
Yeah. Autry, why are the Steelers not in the divisionals here? Why are they? What happened?
Because Matt Canada's a horrible offensive coordinator.
He is.
And we had a rookie quarterback, but we still finished with a winning season. So
how many years in a row?
Yeah,
15?
yeah, 16 or something. I think it was 16. But listen, let me tell you. Let me go back. The Cowboys have more or less squeaked by with wins in the last several weeks. The Giants was 23-16, Bengals 2017. They lost to the Bucks 19-3 in the regular season.
They did.
So they're kind of on this little bit of a downhill slide, and where they haven't put up. I'm looking at the stats right now. They had one game they put up over 50, and they had a 49-point game. Like, their offense is not as glamorous as it is, as everybody thinks it is. So they're not the Kansas City Chiefs, you know. They're not the greatest show on turf. They're kind of on this downhill slide at the end of the season. So JD, who is your friend that has the cat named Jerry Jones that lives at home with his mama and pulls the cowboy, has a cowboy blanket and stuff, and you might want to go and make sure you take him out for coffee. Or
that's Frankie. That's
Frankie. That's it.
Frankie Owl.
Yeah.
Who Lori hasn't met yet. Look, I don't think Lori hasn't met. No. He's got the shower curtain, the floor mats, the toothbrush holder, the bathrobe, the slippers. You want me to keep going?
He's got a gray cat named Jerry. Isn't that right?
Yeah. And I can go into kitchen utensils, too, if you want me to, and underwear.
He named his cat after Jerry Jones. I mean, pick another cowboy.
Is it Jerry Jones or Tony Romo? Which one is it? I'm serious, like that. Yeah. Y'all want to give him reach out to him and check on him.
He makes DJ Hardacre look like.
He should have named the cat Choked.
Oh boy!
So 49ers, Bills, Giants, Bengals tonight. Autry, you're saying it's going to be the Bucks. What say you, Lori? What say you, Deering?
Go ahead.
You know,
last.
I'm gonna go with Tommy and say that the Bucks are going to pull it out.
All right.
I think that the Cowboys are really going to play one heck of a game. I think that Tommy's going to have a couple of turnovers because of the pressure. But I think when it comes down to it, Tom Brady is going to get it done and get his team in a position to win the football game.
Autry, you echo that?
I'm with you. I think Brady's gonna put it on them tonight in the end. We have a chance of seeing a team with a losing record head toward the Super Bowl. I mean, think about that for a minute. And that's what kind of crazy season this has been. We have several losing record teams in the playoffs. I think it's going to be Bucks going to win tonight.
All right. Lori, what say you?
I'm going to take Dallas by 3. I'm going to go against the odds. Wow. I know Tampa's favored by 3. I like both defenses. No disrespect to Tom Brady. No disrespect whatsoever. He is the GOAT. Tip of the hat to him every time he steps on the field. I'm just going to go with Dallas by 3. I think it's going to be a defensive game. Both teams are solid on the defensive side of the ball. I remember the name Tony Pollard. I think he's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
Autry, listen, if you want Lori's cell phone number, you give me $10 and I'll give it to you tonight.
Autry, you have to stay up for the whole game, though, okay?
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I'm old. I just can't. Like 10 o'clock, man, the Lord shuts me off at night. I don't know how to explain it to you.
So I ask all three of you, who would you love most to see in the Super Bowl? I mean, time's a winding here.
There's one team we haven't even mentioned, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Mm-hmm. And we're not mentioning them because nobody knows who their quarterback is.
Yeah.
The rookie.
And he was Mr. Irrelevant because he was the last pick in the draft, Brock Purdy. Last pick in the draft. But he's still, because Kyle Shanahan's such a good coach, anybody can stand, not anybody, but no disrespect to Purdy because he knows what he's doing. But Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius.
Yeah.
So he puts him in the right situation. He's not going to ask him to do too much. They traded for Christian McCaffrey halfway through the season. Best defense in the NFL. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Niners are in the Super Bowl from the NFC.
Wow.
Yep.
She knows her stuff, Autry. She knows her stuff.
She does, and I completely agree. I'll be honest. I don't have a dog in a fight. I really do want Buffalo to win it.
Yep.
Just in my heart, just in every possible way, I want Buffalo to win it. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see San Fran get another one. Kyle Shanahan's a fantastic coach.
It's amazing.
I was listening to Sports Talk Radio the other day, and they were talking about coaches who have like one good year, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but they were talking about coaches who have like one good year and then they bust the next 2 years and they get fired.
Right.
And they were like the truly good coaches are guys like Tomlin and Shanahan and Peterson who take what they've got and they find a way to win.
Yep.
And they find a way to have winning seasons. And man, I just think like McDermott, I think even McVay's a great coach. I know they had a rough season. They've been through a lot of injuries, et cetera, but he still finds a way to win.
Yeah.
Like the rebound the next year. And you're just going to have those years. I just think Shanahan's a fantastic coach. And you're right. Brock Purdy was a stud at Iowa State, by the way. Like everybody's overlooked that. He shouldn't have been the last pick in the draft. But I just think San Fran and Buffalo, I'm going to pick Buffalo just because that's where my heart is. I just feel like, man, I love their team, and I want Hamlin to get a Super Bowl ring since he's probably going to retire. But you can't overlook San Fran.
Autry, what gets you a little warmer under the collar, NFL or college ball? It's a Southern boy. It's a Southern boy.
Oh, I think it depends, man. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on what day, right? Like I don't think I can answer that definitively. If the Steelers come out with a good win and my Tar Heels lose, I'm probably going to be hot under the collar about my Tar Heels losing, right? I don't know if I could just give you a definitive answer. I just can't. I don't know.
My
But
Tar Heels. He owns that team too.
So you're a Tar Heels fan. I like that.
I was born in Chapel Hill. Had all 5 of my knee surgeries in Chapel Hill. With the UNC. Listen, I bleed Carolina blue.
I was just going to ask you that question. If we were to cut you, is it black and yellow? What color is the
It
blood?
might be baby blue.
Well, he said he had 5 knee surgeries there, so
Yeah.
at least the blood came
Him and
from
I
there.
have another thing in common. I've had 3, but he's got me beat.
It's baby blue. It's baby blue. You might find the hints of black and gold in there, but it's definitely baby blue. My bones are black and gold. I can say that.
So if you had to pick one Steelers jersey to wear on Sunday, what would it be? The whole history of Pittsburgh.
Oh,
What a great
It'd be-
question.
it would be hard to not pick Franco Harris.
Exactly. God, you are such a smart man.
It would be hard. I do, but I am a huge Cam Hayward fan.
Gotcha.
How about Jerome?
Man, he is a
Jerome Bettis.
beast.
I mean, Jerome
bus.
Bettis, the bus.
Yeah.
The
is
boss,
just,
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach?
I guess if you like the Cowboys.
If you like the Cowboys, yeah.
What is
yeah.
wrong with
Oh, I
you?
thought he was Steelers.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I
No,
would have picked Mean
that's
Joe
not
Green. Does
okay.
anybody remember Mean
Oh,
Joe Green
yeah.
in the Coke commercial? He's handing his jersey
Yes.
to the little kid
Coke
in
commercial.
the tunnel. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
Yes.
Franco Harris through and through. That there's no right or wrong answer, but Autry, that was really good. That was perfect.
Autry's shaking his head at me.
Does somebody have the Nerf gun to shoot JD? Where's Raylene? Where's Raylene?
I know. Where is Raylene?
Raylene basically said, if you guys are talking about sports this morning, have at it. But Raylene has more knowledge of sports than I do. And that's not saying that much.
But we should have her on with us.
Raylene's
next
amazing.
Time. Yes.
How is it that Lori and I didn't get to do a show together when I
Right?
was in Vermont?
I'm still trying to figure this out. I didn't even know Lori. Deering
Deering.
introduced me to her.
That's
He's the
my
man right
community
there.
thing, man. You know I'm everywhere.
Michael, man, all the years you've known me, and you knew she was a Steeler fan, and you knew I was a Steeler fan.
Doing?
I just met Lori like a month ago when I was doing some
doing a game
basketball
together.
games.
Yep.
Yeah. I was filming a basketball game for Carl Parton,
Yep.
and she was doing color commentating. Or was I producing that game, and you and Carl were calling
No,
the game?
I think that first game you were on camera, and then there was a game Carl and I did recently. that
So
you were-
yeah, we've been doing some basketball, some boys basketball, and oh my goodness,
Autry, we know when it comes to a Southern boy, let's be honest, high school football down south is
It's huge.
I think the whole town shut down for Friday night football.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yes.
Is that why you moved? So that Sam can get a better football opportunity?
Oh!
I was gonna say you got to ding the bell on that one.
Come on. You're stud's son. Come on.
Come on, admit it.
No, that's
I coached him a little bit.
He's good, huh?
Oh,
That's-
Sam's good.
that's-
Yeah, Sam's a good boy through and through. Not just a good football player, but
There's a high
but-
school
Good
there's
person.
there's a high school football coach who's all over the news right now. John Harrell's his name, over at Rockwall Heath High School in Texas, who's in a lot of trouble for allegedly having his players do hundreds of push-ups as a form of discipline, and some of these players have ended up in the hospital. This guy's getting a whole heap of heat right now. I ask you this, Autry: do you have any back in the day stories? Did anything happen to you in high school as a member of a sports team that would never happen today?
Yes, but I'll be honest with you, and Michael can vouch for this. Southern sports culture is not the same as Vermont sports culture, so there's a lot of times at practices. That's why he's laughing. That I would say, all right, here's what we're gonna do, and Michael's like, we can't do that here, Chris. We can't do that in Vermont. That's gonna hurt our kids too much. So one of the drills that I run, and I've modified it in Vermont, was called the county fair. And see, Michael's laughing because he knows about the county fair.
Yeah, Autry's been a coach
Oh,
forever.
this is awesome.
Yeah, so the county fair is essentially kind of like almost like a circuit drill, and where, in other words, our goal is to push our kids physically to a limit, and you want to show them that they can go farther than maybe their bodies will allow at that young age. So what I did in Vermont was, as I may have them do jumping jacks or burpees, and then when I'd say go, they would sprint 40 yards, and I'd move that maybe to 60 yards, and then they'd get down there, and they would give me, push-ups, unlimited amount of push-ups, and then I would say go, and then have to either crab walk, bear crawl, or barrel roll all the way back. And so back in those days, we did that until we puked. There were trash cans on the basketball court or on the field. Now, I will tell you, coaching high school football in Vermont, the first time I did it, our guys did a great job with it, but I had to modify it because I had to keep being told that was too much. It was too much. It was too much. But that's how we were. I remember in high school, we would crab walk. You know what a crab walk is? I know Lily knows what a crab walk is.
Lily does. Yeah, she does it in gymnastics all the time. Yeah, I can't understand it. It's crazy.
We would crab walk laps on the track around the football field.
Wow. Bear crawl around the track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, things.
We would
Indian runs. I mean, this is back, in high school when, the coaches could push us
100%
beyond our limits.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that we've gone too soft, personally.
Yeah. And now I agree. Like the whole Bear Bryant drills where he's stacking kids in cars because they're dehydrated without water and overheated and that's too far.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I definitely think we're way too soft on kids. So I'll give you a really good example. And Michael, I don't know if Michael disagrees with me on this, but in Vermont at 7th, 8th grade football, there's no punt returns.
Right.
So the team punts it, we can catch it or just let it fall. We take the ball at like the 20, right? And the reason I was given that we do that is because of competition, right? It's too competitive, and we kind of equalize competition. That's not how it is here. It's football. It's a punt. You catch the ball and you bring it down the field just like normal, or you wave it off and fair catch it at the 20. So things like that are different. Like I remember, I would get so frustrated in a game, I'd have to walk off from everybody because I'm like, why can't we intercept the ball and run it back?
Yep.
Right.
Why can't? So things are a little bit different there than they are here. To answer Michael's question, we did not move back to give Sam better football exposure.
No, I love you, brother. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah.
You know that.
We miss Vermont. I still watch Newhart and cry. I do. I'm not lying. I see the guy on the opening credits ride around on his powered canoe and on the lake, and I just tear up. But football is different. I will say though, I think basketball is as equally as competitive in Vermont as it is here. I think in Vermont it's way more methodical than it is here. I coach basketball right now, and I'm having a time trying to get my middle schoolers, my 7th, 8th graders, to run a particular offense because what they've been taught is just to play fast break, scramble basketball. And so, to them, it's so, foreign to them that, what a particular cut is on the floor. Where in Vermont, it's a different story. It's very, very methodical, even at the high school level. So I would love one day to see a top-notch high school Vermont team play a top-notch North Carolina team and see what comes out of it. Which Spalding seems to be doing really well right now.
Really well. I tell you what, the boys basketball team's undefeated right now. And the big monkey on their back, per se, was Montpelier High School. And Montpelier's won back-to-back state championships. And Were you with us for that
I
game?
was.
Yeah, you were with us.
Wow.
So the rematch was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago, and
They won by
Spalding
3.
won. Was it 46-40 in overtime? And Montpelier had a 12-point lead halfway through the third. That was a huge monkey off the back. Was the Spalding boys being able to notch that victory? And when they were down by 12 halfway through the third, I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But they withstood the adversity. It's a very senior-laden team.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they've played so long together, so they really have it clicking on all cylinders. And the thing I like about this team is they play defense.
Really good defense.
Really good team defense. They get in the passing lanes, no belly cuts, no backdoor cuts. And to me, it all starts on that end, because then you can get out into transition. If it's not there in transition, get into your half-court set. And when they do, their passing it's like clinic passing. And they're unselfish. To me, it's a very unselfish team. That's why I'm going to be shocked if they're not cutting down the nets in March. I'm going to be shocked.
Hey, I just read a comment, and I'm not sure I understand the comment, but I think I do. Something about we want to hear people push the limits in things like math. I think Michael's exactly right. The beautiful thing of sports teaches us about life that, it teaches us to endure and persevere. And so I think not only do I want kids to know that on the field, but I want kids to know that in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I want adults to know that in their jobs. Just because you have a bad day doesn't mean you need to quit your job. Just because you got a jerk of a boss doesn't mean you need to quit your job. Just because you got shot with a Nerf gun by Raylene means you need to quit your job. What it means is that there's certain seasons we need to push harder. And I think what sports does is it builds that endurance, that mental muscle, just as much as the physical muscle, so that we can mature in other areas of life. And I think we're not only soft on kids when it comes to sports, but we're too soft on them in other areas like education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well
It gives them that
said.
want, and to know that, you know what, I came up against that wall in a sport, but mentally you've built those neuroplasties to say to your brain, you know what, I can push through this if I continue to persevere.
Yeah, and we started out this morning talking about the influencing that coaches everywhere have on our youth growing up, and that sometimes, and maybe even more often than not, sometimes that can be imperative and something that kids are getting goodness out of more so than their own parents or their other teachers. I wonder, and Autry talks about the fact that basketball is like down south. It's almost like a religion up here in Vermont. I mean, if there's a game that's going on that's big time, I don't care who it is, Crimson Tide, Blue Devils, whoever, Central Vermont stops. We shut down. We're all eyes. It doesn't matter what the weather's doing. I mean, we're there. But how much on a local level do you think that coaching staff is holding their players accountable for their performance in the classroom and outside of the classroom in life
lessons,
decision making?
I will say for myself, I just use the word accountability probably too many times in my lifetime as a coach. But as a coach, I wanted to know how my kids were doing. I wanted to see what their grades were. And in Northfield, my 15 years, it was, if you needed tutoring, you didn't go to practice.
Sure.
You went and got the tutoring. If you didn't have a tutor, I would go find you a tutor.
Yeah.
Because sports is important. It thickens the skin. It holds you accountable. Adversity, time and time again throughout a game. But at the end of the day, you have to have that education.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the education.
And education is not just academics. It's also skills, right? I mean,
life skills.
I mean,
life skills.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's you're going to get a degree in welding or HVAC or plumbing or et cetera, everybody's got to have an education. And I would say, in my experience, so coaching high school level here years ago, I know that when a player got a report card, now it might be different now because I'm back and I'm brand new, but a player would get a report card and the first person that saw it was the coach, wasn't mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach saw it, and if their grades didn't meet a certain standard, which I think back then was a C+,
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
then there was a consequence. Now, at our particular high school, the consequence was for anything under a C+ meant you lost a quarter of play. And if we went further, if you missed school for anything other than a death, you lost a quarter of play. So there was an imperative to keep yourself healthy, not just academically, but so if a kid got a C-, well then you're not playing the first quarter on Tuesday. If you got and if you got 2 C-, then you're gonna miss half the game. So it pushed the kid, and then like Lori said, there's all kind of resources available to help a kid get better.
Exactly.
No excuses.
Right.
In Vermont, I think it depends on the school. It sounds like, and so I don't know. I think it just depends on the school, and I don't know what it's like now. Back in my day, that we functioned on that same plan. I remember going to our assistant coach my report card, and they would say, "Okay, you need to go see the librarian because they're going to send you to tutoring." And if your grades were below a certain level, then you got a progress report halfway to report card. At that 3-week mark, the coaches got that progress report, and that determined whether you played or not.
And we dealt with a little bit of that with the football season this year because when we had our coaches meeting with the athletic director and some of the assistant principals for Spalding, we were told 2.5 is what we're going to hold these children accountable to. So not just a standard C, but really that C+, almost B, because we expect our student athletes to perform in the classroom. And if you're not performing in the classroom, then we're not going to allow you to perform on the field. We'll allow you to practice, but you can't be in a game. And when it comes to football, I mean, we've only got 6 to 8 games a season. So you become academically ineligible, and essentially your season's over.
Right.
So there are a lot of plans in place for students who are having academic issues to be able to address those. And I know personally on the football team, we've made it clear to our players that all of our coaches have college degrees, that we will all be willing to help them with whatever.
Right.
I mean,
You're
if
willing to
it's a
step
math,
up.
absolutely. Yeah. Bring your stuff to practice. If you want to work on it half hour before practice, hey, we'll do it. If you want to stay
Study
after
group.
practice, whatever it is, you have to, as a coach, be able to meet your players where they're at.
Sure.
I used to lose players at Northfield because it was that C+, and my athletic director would always let me know, you're going to lose this player until progress reports came out. I lost players not often, but for 2 to 3 weeks until the progress report came out.
Yeah. Yep.
But in that time frame, they could still come to practice. You made sure they were in study groups. But you had to maintain.
I've got 2. Go ahead, Autry.
I do think we need to give credit to the students who are in that C range, who are putting forth the effort. Right?
Absolutely.
So if they're going to tutoring, if they're going to study groups, man, they're just, because I know for me, I had a learning disability. I could not, algebra, I couldn't pass algebra 2 to save my life. And I needed more tutoring and more help that the school couldn't provide. And so if a student's putting forth the effort to go to those study groups, I think you give them benefit of the doubt and let them play. But the student has to prove that.
Right.
Yep, they have to put the effort in.
Accountability.
And I think that our athletic director would be able to work with somebody if they were having some issues like that, to make sure that they're being held accountable, getting the education that they need, and not having to be left out because of a learning disability. I mean, we want to make sure that people get opportunities.
That's right.
And not, everybody, we all have issues.
Yep.
100%.
I'll leave it at that. We all have issues.
Yep. 100%.
I got two more questions to wrap up here. One of them's for all three of you, and the last one is just for Autry. Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany have just purchased this Kansas City franchise, KC Current, the National Women's Soccer League. What do you think about these NFL players that are not only doing things like this, but also buying and starting up pickleball franchises? My God, what's going on? Autry, go.
Well, first of all, man, don't hate pickleball. I play it, man. My knees are bad, but I can play some pickleball, man. I am mean. I used to tear it up over there in Berrytown. So I'm just saying, don't hate on pickleball, right?
Yeah.
I think more specifically, and not only do I think it's a great thing, I think more specifically it's a fantastic thing. Kobe Bryant kind of led the way on this, that these guys are buying women's sports franchises or investing money so that they can get equal pay for their play. And I think it's fantastic. I'm 1,000% behind it. I'm not a soccer fan. I don't know anything about soccer, but
Me either.
if I were in their shoes and I was able to do it, that's exactly what I would do.
Will you ever call soccer football?
No, no. And
Thank
Carolyn and I, we have a sharp disagreement on this.
Yeah.
So
We've got it wrong over here. It was football over there, but long before it was football over here. So apparently we're off base.
Yeah, Sherilyn has learned that, number one, Lily's a really good running back, and she should play football, not soccer.
I keep saying that.
Yeah.
I keep telling
I
JD to
know.
get her to my BYSA.
I know.
You know that, Chris.
She can run.
Yeah, man.
I taught her how to hold it high and tight, and she
Nice.
goes, man. I'm telling you.
What say you about this, Lori? What do you think about this?
I agree with Chris Autry 100%. I think it's great. And I'm not a soccer player. Believe it or not, at Montpelier High School, when I went to high school, we didn't even have soccer at Montpelier. That's going to really, right?
Wow.
Poof.
They had football,
But
though.
They had football, and it was huge.
I played against
Coach
them.
Morrison. It
Korniewski.
was huge.
Yeah.
But I agree with Autry 100%. I think it's great that Pat Mahomes and his wife are doing it. It gets the word out there more. People see, oh, it's Pat Mahomes because he's phenomenal on a football field. So it is. It's raising the stakes. It's putting women's sports out there more. I absolutely love it.
What say you, Mr. Daring?
I say that somebody that has that much influence doing something that positive is amazing. So we're constantly seeing the negativity with athletes and some things because it's easier to bring that spotlight to the garbage. But when you can bring something like this forth, it just really raises the stakes. And this is what we expect from our high-profile athletes.
He's pulling $117 million out of his wallet to build them a stadium.
Well,
Love
they
it.
had to load like an armored truck to give him his last payout.
Maybe he can throw a few more mil into the odd.
How about for
he's
Spalding
listening.
football field? I mean, if
Right.
he's
Yeah.
listening,
There you go.
I mean,
There
we're
you go.
looking at, we're trying to redo that whole athletic complex.
Autry, we love you so much, my man, and we miss you up here. We're all freezing our butts off big time up here, man. But
JD soft.
we miss you, brother.
I miss you guys, man. I love you. It's been fun to be back online today, man.
Listen, final question, Mr. Autry. And this side of you, Lori doesn't know about, but Michael Deering does. When you meet up with Jesus someday,
Okay.
will Jesus Christ be jealous of the Steelers? Take it away.
I would say yes. The Bible. I'm gonna answer this theologically. Like he is a jealous God. He is jealous over our hearts that give affection to other things other than Him, and so it is something that I have to consciously keep check on in my own self.
Yeah.
because he is Lord over my heart. And now, so in your terms of jealousy, he is Lord and King, and he's the only one who's alive and who reigns. And
Amen, brother.
He reigns even over the Steelers, and so
Even
I
over
have
the
no-
Steelers.
That he said it. He said
Yeah.
it.
Said it.
He said it.
So
said
I have no doubt in my mind Jesus can hold his own, and he doesn't need the Steelers to be glorified. But I will say yes to that question. I will say this though. I will say this. I do think he has a special mercy and compassion for Cowboys fans, and so when I get to heaven, he is we're going to see some Cowboys fans there just because he is that gracious and that merciful.
He forgives all,
He's that
right?
gracious.
That's right.
I
Yep.
love it.
That's right.
We love you, pal.
Even Cowboys fans.
Love you too, man.
Do you have your
Nice
Steelers?
to meet you, Lori.
Do you have
Hey, it was
your-
great to meet you.
Do you have your Steelers jersey yet?
My Steelers jersey?
Yes.
No, I don't have it on me, but I am wearing black today.
All right.
I do have my terrible towel hanging up over
I
here.
was just going to
in
ask him
my
if he.
office.
How many terrible towels do you have?
I got one hanging up in my office, and
Nice.
and I will also say I got my Red Sox stuff hanging up in my office too. But
Oh, that's a discussion for another day.
Yes, that's
Well-
another podcast.
when you move to New England, you got to pull for somebody, and I cannot pull.
That
for
was the only
Patriots.
disagreement him and I have had. He said the Red Sox.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
still
I-
love them, though. You still
Oh,
love
absolutely. It's been great talking with you.
them. Autry, man, listen. When next time you come up here, you're sharing a mic with Lori.
Round table.
Let's do it.
It's
Let's do
happening.
it.
We're
Let's
hoping-
do it.
We're hoping to be there in early September.
Okay.
That's
right
our-
before football.
Ooh,
I
The
know.
start of football.
nice.
Yeah.
I know it's a good time of year. And JD, you're gonna buy coffee, right?
One
Of
last
course-
question though. Do you play fantasy football?
I do, and I don't. And after this year, I don't know if I can play anymore.
Oh, all right.
It was an
Okay.
awful year.
Did you
It
draft
was-
the whole Steelers team?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Fair
I
enough.
got in the playoffs in one league, and in another league, I only had 3 wins. That's the first time I've ever been that bad.
Okay.
since
Who was your
never.
first round pick? Just give me one name.
Aaron Rodgers. I was a believer.
Oh.
I was a believer that Aaron Rodgers could. He's usually my go-to
Yeah.
backup quarterback. And I was a big believer in Tua. I like playing in 2 quarterback leagues, so I was a big believer in Tua. I think he had a great season.
He did.
I think he needs to retire from football.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
the
agree.
concussion. But
Well, I get
who
it.
was yours, Lori?
You're in a 2 quarterback league. That's hard. That's really hard. I've never done the 2 quarterback league.
Yeah.
My first round pick was Justin Jefferson, so I had a pretty nice season.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Michael, did you play fantasy football?
I did. I actually lost in the championship.
I made it,
Jalen
yeah.
Hurts was my round 1.
Nice.
I got really lucky. I took kind of like, I think
Wow.
he's going to be good. And he really killed
He's
it for
really
me.
good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well done.
He did better than Ezekiel Elliott for me this year. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
I drafted Zeke this year thinking he would show
Me too.
I did not.
Yep. I should have drafted Pollard.
You want to know who my running back was? Saquon Barkley, because everyone was sleeping on him, and I said he's going to be healthy this year. Just just a gut feeling.
I slept on him too, man. I kicked myself. Jaden,
We're
do you know
not-
what we're talking about?
We're going to have a class. That's it. We're scheduling a class for this.
Listen, I think we all ought to play fantasy football with JD at least one year.
Absolutely.
Just so one of us wins.
You got plenty of time to
I'm
study.
throwing my numbers in the air, man. Just let them fall down.
I'll
Just
teach
let-
you how to draft, JD.
Auto draft. Yep.
Auto draft.
Auto draft.
You can just auto
That's
draft.
going to be the name of his team, too. The auto drafts. Oh, boy.
Autry, we love you, pal.
Love you too, man.
All right,
Love
man.
you guys. Good to see you.
Over and
Stay
out.
warm.
Oh my God, I love that guy. Thank you guys so much
He's
for
wonderful.
coming on. Isn't he great?
He is great.
I
love
thank you
Chris.
both for being here so much, man. It's like it's just great. Next time, let's get Carl Parton in here.
Absolutely.
We've had him on a couple of times, but
We can
it's-
sit him right here.
Please.
Rose between two thorns, right? We'll give him that for one day.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Much
here today. We love you. Over and out for now. We'll catch you real soon. Tomorrow morning, Paul Brody is going to be sneaking in here. We're going to have some fun tomorrow morning. Cannot wait. 9 o'clock. Be well, everyone. God bless.